Auto shutdown initiated. Auto shutdown cancelled. Powering off. Powering on. Mic on.
dun 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 dun. Hello everyone. I was a little bit late. Don't aim at that. Cat was being annoying. Bloody annoying cat it is. But that all said, let's continue. We're in the second game and we're on to case number 3. Return of the Great Departed Soul.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few were aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the crystal tower itself, brought the truth to light.
The light of the Shadow Realm. Ba-da-da-da-da.
We're here at the showground of the great exhibition.
Keeps going.
Absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies. And today, we showcase even more advanced technology, a glimpse into the future. A world first, a demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine. A man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location. Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
You're gonna die.
In but a few moments from now, this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
What smells like bacon? Do what you say. The 22nd of October, 9:36 a.m. Sholmes' suite. Runo, are you listening? Oh, sorry. Was that Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Don't you like that I cooked you for breakfast? Oh, no, that's not it at all. What are you talking about again? Today's paper is full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Oh yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? So is Hurley. So is... Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. When did you arrive, Naruto? I've been here for about half an hour already. We've had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking vim. So much I didn't even notice your presence. Thanks. Of course I could deduce the reason perfectly well. A simple observation. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair in the morning is unruly spikes. Could either deduced before that. Let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I've seen where this is going. It always looks like this. It always has, and ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? Well, interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. You crossed my mind recently. It's been 6 months now. 6 months? It's also been from working in the court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you've seemed rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? God damn it. Huh? Did you say something, Iris? Back to moping. What's the matter with Sholmes today? He seems more down in the dumps than me. I know! The Great Exhibition opened, and you'd think you'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go and see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm the great detective after all. So you're on board with a tricky case that you can't be distracted from, is that it? I don't remember hearing you were working on the case, Hurley. I suppose you're trying to find out what's going on. The medium whiny and medium eccentric voice, like the mix of whiny and eccentric. Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of the young girl in a trial heard in Old Bailey. It first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at London pawnbrokery. It turned out to be one part of much more far-reaching plot involved in the British government. During, of course, that short trial, I found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake. Oh, what's found me? This was utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruto. Yes, my lord. I set upon your fate following the conclusion of the trial. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my rights to represent people in court revoked. So I was told I had to spend my time researching and study of and so that's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading all those big fat tomes of British law up in your room, and notes about Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Irish special blend of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of mischievant around here. Let's start on the silverware next, Mr. Minato. Well, I'm thinking of going to take the thing on us powers to be to reconsider. Tiffy Lord Strongheart, the British Supreme Court at Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favourite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the one that gave me permission to start working in courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. I can't do that just sitting around here. So the whole London has been swept up in the Great Exhibition, hasn't it? Most advanced science and most modern technology. The finest work of the feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcased the things the world has been watching. Oh, Do you know what I'd like to do? What I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on? Do you mean those things? Fly? Yes, of course. Fly high in the sky. You don't even need to do it, or you can just hot air. I can see to heaven though. That's also flying. Just hold still. I'm good. But how does hot air even do anything through flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all. That's true, a lot of these scientific discoveries, most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, we'll have things just commonly knowledge. I suppose there might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems quite very questionable. Something went wrong on the open exhibition stage yesterday. Apparently, there was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it though. I'll have to see how bad some of these camp experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of this paper is carried out the article of about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter thing shines, the darker the shadows are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, the independable, that's a proper atmosphere. The Great Exhibition newspaper entered in the court record. Now, shadows cast behind, modified way referring to the black page of the paper. So many glowing reports of the Great Exhibition, everything goes on here. Oh, there's a rather gloomy looking one that is... Wait, what? What's the matter, Runo? What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked? That's Lord Van Zeeks. This must be what the was talking about. He doesn't know any more than I wonder. Oh no, I lost Cat. The grimmest news of all. We are doomed if no one can find that cat. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You can say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add. It's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruto. We must discuss it. We must not discuss it here. You never who might be listening. Fuck you! You're acting very strange, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated the case is, the more better Hurley's mood. Ah! Is it really case related that's you bothering you? Iris, please. You mustn't exercise your absolute powers of observation and deduction without my invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual who you're making deductions. You say that, do you, Mr. Sholmes? Never mind. Once I've had my cup of tea, I must make my way off to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zeek was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of Bailey, of course, don't you? Fairly too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Bardock Van Zeeks. Blah! They say if the Reaper is the prosecutor in the case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty, once the Reaper has someone in these sights, one way or another, that person's the time left on left will be short. London's finest rogues always find a way around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure adequate law at the trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening the jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious taxes as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. So you've experienced it yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruto? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unaffordable to die. If a leader among these Fezzi have been seen, taken by the Reaper, relations does occur. Really, the capital is never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zeek has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time. He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take the attacks lying down. Oh no! It seems that his assailant was armed with a gun this time. Guns this time. Oh my goodness. Is he alright then? It's Lord Van Zieks. Don't worry, he's a vampire. Guns can't hurt him. He just heals up a few seconds. And how on earth should I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what Lord Van Zieks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow morning's edition. I see. Well, I should head to the patient then. No. You can wait till tomorrow. Can't wait till tomorrow. In that case, shall have to inquire with someone in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps. Wow, I must be leaving now. I really wish you wouldn't always strip naked and change in front of us. It's really disturbing. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. I'm gonna go bleach my eyes again. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, Steve. Hello? What? You seem to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you'll be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering why you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out the door. Alright then, Reno, let's get going! And then not asking! Oh, Iris? What are you wearing? I got changed into a great exhibition! You're going to take me! But, just as the Supreme Court... Oh! That's one too! You're going to take me there then! She's actually pointing the gun at me this time! Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you? Of course! After the Supreme Court, we'll go to the Great Exhibition! New occasion has been added! I haven't been here in this game yet. Dick. Damn it, man! Who leaves my pigeons early? 22nd of October, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here, but some things never change. The sense of foreboding that seems to fill in this place. It doesn't seem to bother Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Look what I found! It's Chief Justice's secret diary! Oh, I love this place. I'm going to find some interesting books here. Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. Tommy came here 6 months ago. Was that Sutterson was given the news that she was to return to Japan. I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. If I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see, since you arrived in the question audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while, my apologies. Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than sitting around staring into space. Good to know. Good to know it doesn't appear to bother him at all. Mel Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who's allowed me to stand practicing defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air of the moment the Grand Office understands the predicament and status. As you are aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. You're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Emporium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities of the 40 countries around the globe are taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future, though one must embrace it. See? That's when you release the birds. When I stand dramatically. You did it good this time. You get a raise. Thank you, sir. As we're hosting the nation, I have much to do. And it's my highest priority. of others must wait for my attention as a result. So be it. Well, it's not a scenario where I'm stand. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course. I can very well imagine what's it about. Thank you for agreeing to meet me, my lord. I must be able to start working eventually again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. Bruno! Just take deep breaths and come out with it. I actually came here just to ask your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court lawyer was revoked. I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I am very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, I've made it understand that it really means to defend somebody under the rules of the foreign justice system. And it's probably want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruto! Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you're a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. But he was so determined to bring the change to our injustice system at home, that's what he's calling. If the tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in the office now. Mr. Osoki was my best friend, you see, and that's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. This calling, you say? I have never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of the true calling. Sorry? The mission which the young merchant was charged was really was. What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. You've had all your reports submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear that you regret your actions and have been seriously obeying your received instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I resent your license in practice law in Great Britain. So we're out of birds. Don't do that pose again. We might have troubles. Thank you so much. That was wonderful news, Runo. In fact, I believe I have a perfect case to mark your comeback. A serious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course. Please tell me more. You described a curious affair? Yes, that's right. I believe it's reported in the press. You're aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh no. Really? Yes, I read about it. Professor German tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instant kinesis? As in moving things without a click of my fingers? That's right! It's just a herbal table and needs a dash of devil may care! Whatever serious accident actually was captured in imagination. It's unfortunate business that a large explosion engulfed the public exhibition stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Oldiasman. An old ass man. Mr. Old Ass Man. Oldiasman. An inventor as well known as his figure in society. A large explosion. Our men died. The man responsible for the experiment, Professor Herbert, was detained limitedly after the incident, and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take his defense, you should try and hurry to meet with him in prison. There's very little time for you left to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition, a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder. I feel out of death to the very start still. You should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet the German professor. Don't you think? Do you think? Definitely. Ah yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection between your mutual acquaintance and the Reaper. Oh? Lord Van Zeeks? How? All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world, continuing with the Great Exhibition. Next month, the largest and most important of them will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. There seems to be thorough criminal investigations needed to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly! Good news, we found some more birds! Although these ones are more pigeons than doves. We just spray painted them white for you. Ah! London, the global enterprise of culture and science and the wealth, and now its population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime and the capital are growing at a simultaneously startling rate. So, imperative that we use the latest scientific methods, investigate and resolve cases efficiently as possible. Which is what known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly! Video poulticing! Those ones are just geckos we strapped wings to. Now we have flying geckos. I hope you're happy. Ah! We're gonna play, however. Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to adoption of scientific methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. That's alarming. Exactly! Extremely alarming. That time we just threw some rocks. Ah! If Her Majesty announced an Attorney General, you can be sure. The number of the crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different in the cases of his. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 2,300 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By the way, apologies for keeping you waiting earlier. I shall tell everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating! Oh, because 15 years ago, I was... Oh god, I'm falling asleep, I think. Don't go into the light, Nodo! Don't you die! No! Bored to death! And more or less sums up the feelings on the matter. Simplest terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish forensic investigation division of Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right, yes. That's wonderful. Exactly. A wonderful precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She got her nose in another book now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent forensic science. You know who said that right in front of me, sir? I'm just gonna whoop away. Run away! The 22nd of October, local prison cell 11. The one said cell 11. This is the one. Oh, there's someone curled up in the ball in the back of the corner. Look. What's his name again? Professor Albert Harebrained. His last name is Harebrained. Excuse me, Professor Harebrained. Who are you? I'm Rizzo, defense lawyer. A lawyer? Yes, that's what I said. A lawyer? You say? What would you be here? What about the experiment? What are you doing to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yes, sir! The demonstration! The demonstration was... The most significant demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by everyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in science. They'll explain. They'll leave. High velocity. Now, probably not a good time to mention your zeal made your concentration leave me for a while there too. You went to the demonstration yesterday? Papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes! I got the extraction results was what it went on to. Well, I suppose the scientific science. The experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw them with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Assman, spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations predicted. At a point when it should have been beamed across the crystal tower in stainless kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Assman in fact perished. I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is a large explosion that killed Assman was an accident, correct? Welcome, Linkley. But the bigwig said you're arrested on suspicion of murder. Dr. Hairbrain. I was responsible for the man's death. It's a middle truth there. But for that, I wish to be punished at once. But. Murder! I don't know what it is. It's an accident. A simple accident. I see. Just so you know, Linkley, because you missed it, the victim's name is Oldie Ass Man. As in, old ass man. Earlier was talking this morning, I know, you know. He said the situation changed completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or a murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, then the Festus machine would have been kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Ah yes! In the established here in Britain. The special detention of specific science act. That one passed me by. But the case is treated as murder. Then they'll say the machine was the murder weapon. They'll say the machine is the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it much like that. They'll examine it in detail. They'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected at all costs. That's why I'm dependent that the whole internet be shown as an incident tomorrow's trial. Oh, I see now. So he admits that it was an accident. He admits the person dies, but he wants to say it was. He wants to plead it was an accident and not murder. It's a tedious kinesis. So in short, there was a terrible accident and the Great Exhibition show again yesterday. Yes, or rather no. The devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, it was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage to destroy instantaneous condition, weren't you? How fascinating. A teleportation device. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a certain degree of high voltage, to break down those bonds and beam a particle through space. That's in a nutshell. Awesome idea, you see. That's an amazing hypothesis. Because it's actually high levels of science. Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of incredible technology! You think, one moment you could be here in a cell, and then the next, you'd be in the Great Exhibition again! Well, yes, that would be incredible. But in the mere blink of an eye, you'd be at the Great Precision Theatre, you say! Possibilities are endless! The whole world vast planet could be within reach! No more hiding in the wardrobes of rocky seas of 50 days. Why do you say it like that? What do you mean, Iris? What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, then the planet wouldn't really seem to be very fast anymore, would it? You'd think it would be like it shrunk. My word, that's exactly right. What are the implications? What does it mean? Whoops, like Professor Bunny Brain really worried at the look of it. He's just a case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. Without the practical demonstration, it means nothing. And when they fly in the ointment, because the practical demonstration costs a lot of money, and the young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it. Yes. How they always are complaining about it. It sounds like government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I popped in at the right time. I'm at the well-known investigator, Mr. Asman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The victim! Working hard to make a Linkley. The full name of the man who died was Oldie Ass Man. What exactly is your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany years ago. He said he would want to investigate the mental hypothesis thanks to lucky stars. I see. So you didn't really know each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I'm concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. You're prepared to fund the practical demonstration of my hypothesis precisely the Great Exhibition. And then that way, well, we couldn't expect a general finance support to research the British government. Mr. Aspen provided with money, exceptional engineers. He put out the machine with very precise specifications. But then, your dream was blown to dust in an enormous explosion. Kablooey. As you can see, I am everything to Mr. Asman. I would never find anything to take away from man's life. I think I found a good voice for him. Watch the stream while you're getting your shot. Hey, you're in the newspaper, bitch. Ah, how could this have happened? I must feel awful, as well as a man losing his life, if the Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. Wait, did you atomize him and fire him to the Crystal Tower? I know what happened. It must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had an unusual meal in Frank's Favours, a hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings, too much to change. Instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still there now. Divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what this is. For a scientist, it is very illogical associates and long and logical. I'm just gonna go now. Wait, don't leave me! Wait, I can't go now? October. Nahoro Legal Consultancy. I wish I looked at my badge. I lost my name on the inside. No, it's Kazumi's. That reminds me, have you seen this? Oh, report the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition! Of course! No, not that, the story on the back page. What story? This Reaper attacked? Ah, that. You've enjoyed having the victorious accord against my #1 prosecutor, have you not? Poor Mr. Reaper, what happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? No, you can't kill a vampire with a bullet. That's shenanigans. We don't have any brooms here for shenanigans, so don't bring that up again. There's no need to concern. Lord Van Zyk would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. What happened? Tell us. I really want to know. Very well. If it interests you, it does. Strangely. That's what I needed. Fortunately, the Lord Van Zyk emerged from the attack unscathed. Seat ruffians were no match for the man. Very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns? Why was he attacked though? Do we know? Its alleged event occurred a month ago. The leader of the capital criminals organization was injected and prosecuted by Van Zyks. But the man was acquitted. I have no doubt a large number of sums of money involved in behind the scenes. Large sums of money. Deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that it was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. The man by the name is Asman. He was the man in the name of Mr. Asman. Mr. Oldie Asman. What do you say, Asman? The man who died in the biggest explosion of the Great Division. Yes, known public as an investor, but in reality, head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, would you ask you something about the Lord Strongheart? Try me! Why did Lloyd want by Zeke as a prosecutor? All the criminals managed to get off at the court, then meet the mysterious end with outside the courtroom. They're fearful of the fate that seeks to cite the London Van Zeeks first. I know there's no evidence actually that the Reaper is in the scenes, but still. Something clear is going on here. Yeah, Linkley's okay. Get your shot. The shot's more important than my stream. Get your shot, then run home. Linky got a shot. He's like got a golden shot now. I have Van Zeek to work for his Constitution service for 2 years. Firstly, the man's the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any death of criminals that occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many people have died not by someone's hand? Van Zeek maybe earned himself a moniker of the Reaper, but he's no killer. Run inside the car, just move your legs like you're running inside the car. That works. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm ready. 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here. The engagement with yours. So lateness, it was inevitable. Time starts Pseudo Man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 23 reasons. Oh yes, there was one thing I'd like to find out, Lord Zeeks. I assume that I would assume he's in his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about it, attack him in person. I want to get straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now! I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain defense entirely in your hands. Oh, of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. Running inside a car makes you go faster. October, prosecutor's office. Oh, it's a legendary Reaper's office. It appears so, and this is one of many chalices. It sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Please don't say deathly atmosphere when you're wielding a weapon. Oh, is that? Her figure is so still. I hadn't noticed his or her presence. Who it is? What are you doing here? Ah, I know, Blair, what are you doing here? You don't welcome him as I thought he would be. Actually, I may be even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you well. Blair, I am. Bullets cannot affect me. So, who's the person over there by the wall being punished or something or other? No punishment at second plus here. Oh. That's my apprentice. He's sitting there for his own free will. I don't know. You had an apprentice? Where's the same person that pictured in the newspaper? Welcome, Murdno. Welcome to the madness. In case you missed it, I'm defending Albert Hairbrain And the victim was Oldie Ass Man. So Dr. Hairbrain and Oldie Ass Man. Blah. He's very able in combat, records as skilled as anyone under my tutelage. He referred to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers. Blah, the Reaper. Be interesting to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is, if such fallible fiend genuinely inhabits other greater courtrooms. Lord Chuckman said you were assaulted last night in some sort of revenge attack. Blah. True. Carried by the henchmen in the old ass man's criminal organization. Investigation meant the rest of the minute, but somebody had one hope to kill me before that happened. Old the ass man. He always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But an enormous wealth came from by underhanded means of criminal activities. So, in the previous case, do you need me to sum it up for you? The end of the previous case was Olive Green put poison on the gas pipe because the Frenchman, I can't remember his name, wanted to get into the room to find a lost treasure that he was told about. But because someone was in the room, he couldn't get it. So he was blowing into the gas pipes to put out the gas so that people would choke to death. Olive Green's fiance was in the room before the Japanese man, and died of gas inhalation by by suffocation. But since the room was taken out again, he was trying to do the same thing. In order to prove it was him, she put poison on the gas pipe, so if he tried to blow into it, he'd be poisoned. And that's how that happened. And when you find the treasure, Sherlock Holmes shits himself and instantly gives it away. Sorry, Linkley. There's still a lot of great story and jokes I make. I was doing it for Erdno's sake. He used the maid to buy himself fetish, not the guilty. I found it on the recovery. Hey, look! There's some chicken in the wall over there. Don't touch my wall chicken. Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. Blah. The man got his compatriots in the end. Yesterday, in fact, extraordinary circumstances. The most unusual case of death. I know that be. Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis has gone wrong. Mr. Osman died on the demonstration on the public experiment stage in an enormous explosion. Blah, correct. And you think you had some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. It doesn't seem a little far-fetched. If the man really is that fabled Reaper, then he has to be the innocent, particular death at least. It's strange how it's worked out, hasn't it, Bruno? I mean, what if you're talking to the person in defense the trial tomorrow? Blah! Nani? You don't defend him? Oh yes, that's right. I thought I barely know the man's name yet, but to be honest... Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him, by any chance? Of course. He's the one who visited me and gave me vampire powers. I mean, he's a compatriot of mine. We were in the university together. Yo. What?! I understand the first Hairbrain was from the German university, though. Hairbrain's from the respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out his research. Blah, that is all. We were students together. I was faculty of law, of course. He was in science. Our paths really crossed. But curiously, we got along. Though I've not met him since the university days. I certainly don't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with two of all people representing him. If I only make it out of this office alive. He's actually being charged with murder, it seems. Are you trying to force choke me? It didn't work. My vampire powers need more blood. Yes, I know, because I'm the prosecution. Will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound like you and the person had been friends. We are friends. Blah, that's true. Then why would you do this? The Reaper is a persecutor. There's nothing we can do to save him. He's doomed! What's all Van Zeke thinking? Hot British vampire babes. Yes. Oh, yes. Van Zeke! Wake up! What do you mean by you said before? If you don't like the Reaper's true identity, then what does it mean? I'm the crown persecutor of an immortal like you any other. I am not demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? People who've persecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in conviction or an acquittal. Blah. Those I persecute are the villainous wretches of the society. People without question deserve found guilty. And the world's a better place without them. But that's not true for Mr. Namasu, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. No, it was Guinea. In fact, she's never been working so hard now. Blah, I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have been taking a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches were to escape justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was the hand of their own kind, not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you've been attacked by those ruffians because they believed it's true. In fact, since people started calling me the Reaper of the Bear, number of serious crimes in the capital have dropped substantially. Oh. Blah. It would appear that even though the most hardened criminals are a mad of fear for their lives. Do you mean to say? Blah. I mean to say if that platinum service is used for a purpose. I adopt it gladly, with honor. It's putting you in danger. You could be killed. Blah. That is my fate. Let God decide. I'm in Satan. I'm a vampire. Satan decide. Lord Van Zeeks. The man with the death ray man. Like whatever it is, I can't look at it. Let's look at the whole thing. Oh look! Let's get one of the Great Exhibition Showgrounds! It's amazing. I wonder why it's here. Betty Meredith might have sadness of being too busy to attend the prison. Perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Blah, surely obviously that I'm using it for investigation aid. Ah! Real police have no business painting others overly reserved. I really don't think he'd overhear that. You said it in front of my face. Oh no, he's dead. Wait, is that Altair? I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved into muscle since we arrived. He's wearing right. Looks like he has a hidden blade. You think he's dead? If he's dead, Runa, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he? Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us. He's not dead! Just want to just start poking him. Hey, 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 hey. The fine collection of hollow chalices and bottles are neatly lined up there. Blah. My hollow bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes and the finest vineyards of prostitutes I found on the street. But a person oversees the chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. No silver. And yet you throw them around the court like they were worthless. Blah. Yes, because it was filled with unimaginably wide mark sometimes. Oh. But before you open your mouth the next time, you should consider the poor person's work on you to file. Don't blame me, you're the one that's smashing them. It's my fault, silly me. How could I have ever thought of it otherwise? You asshole. That Van Zeke looks so stylish. Is that marble chess inside? Beside it? Chess. That's the Western version of Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh really? You probably like chess problems in that case. I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zeke sometime. About Shogi problems. If you really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that at your own time. I can't do that at home. I'm in a goddamn other country. Haha! Look, it's his parents. Ah! I scared his parents away. Ah! Bats! I see. I told you it was a vampire. Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. But the mute man in the dark cloak, I thought he was his familiar. It's like a flying kind. He must be dead from the Reapers then. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though, either way. Lord Van Zeeks, about the article in this paper. Oh yeah, blah, oh yes, it seems the reporter of Nibley when this skirmish took place. I had no idea. I'd been photographed. I was killer some man. Now everyone knows your face and they're gonna come kick your ass! Hooray! Looks like though you've taken after another who attacked me and ran away though. Blah, it's a the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? Blah. As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell me more about him. Fuck off. I know. You actually let me ask. Blah. He's not my tutelage because to come post to you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you and Hurley, like you are to Hurley then, Reno. I don't remember talking about an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Look, he's wearing some kind of mask. Blair, I'm not Junkrat's orders. Nobody else knows his man's face, or indeed inside his identity. Oh, $5 says it's Cosmo who's actually survived the attack. But why would you take us as a suspicious individual? Blair, lost Junkrat's orders again. He is not one for many follies come around the reason. I hope you're right. He did say this whole thing's like someone coming back from the grave. The title of this chapter is Return from the Grave. Ah. Blur, let's talk a bit. Good, I'll collect your brief. Nice to meet you. Oh, I sat back down. Back to work again. He really is strange, though. I've met the man before. I don't even know he existed, and yet, somehow, I don't feel like it's our first encounter. Blah, don't drive a car with him. He says nothing but to anyone outside of my office. Those talking about it have strictly forbidden it. I see. Blah, why else want to my patterns anyway? I know, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, yet with this forced posture. It was like I had hero wind blowing. It was like I had hero wind blowing through his thin. If it was hero wind behind him, then we know it's him. Cosmo has permanent hero wind blowing past him, even inside a sealed ship. Blah. It sounds something I've been meant to ask you. Oh, what is that? That the Polypid man. Is he faring well? Sorry? The one who arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. The one with the stoop, the mustache, the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natterson, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him. If You identified him on that list, Runo. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him in International Post the other day. Blah, I say. Well, I think we'll end our discussion here, don't you? It's time to leave before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend a little bit of time investing in the case. Yes, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Shoki-san after the Napolitanese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I didn't imagine Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn of the books. A mad scientist, huh? You mean Professor Harebrained? Yes, the one worth quizzing the professor about this relationship with Zeke. I understand Mr. Lorne Van Zeke's your friend of yours from university days. Yeah! Oh, what's his voice again? Yes, that's right. He studied the law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? Good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, all-round a nice fellow, really. Sorry. Sorry, I think you all misheard me. I talked about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Baron Van Zeke. What was he like when he was in university? Talk about leading question, Runo. As I said, unassuming, extremely present gentleman. After all, he's a little darling of Van Zeke's family. He's the greatest Christian origins. He's German, not Norwegian. I didn't realize you had such noble blood. Little darling. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. That's right. Did I hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed his after graduation? Really? What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I was in the country at the time. I was in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh yes, of course. Well, yeah, Erno, what do you tell us about the great Norwegian butter crisis? If you heard about the Reaper, I really didn't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeke will be the prosecutor in the court tomorrow. So, Professor, let me just make this absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday was an accident, in your saying. You had no intention of harming the victim, who would in fact the sole investor of your work. Is that correct? Correct. As 2 squared is 4. I swear it. Yes, it's true that the man perished in my machine because of invention. I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries or my inventions to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. The man is science. That's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Ah, my throat. You do believe me. You do believe my hypothesis. Science pursues the truth, you know. I always believed in that. That's my life. I'm afraid I don't know how much of science is theories, but I do believe you, and we'll fight to prove your innocence. Well, Australia has grown its own Florida in New South Wales. But I do believe you, and I'll fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of law, and that's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Damn it! I should have given him a Dexter Laboratories voice. When I lived in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of them matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thanks to you in advance for defending me in tomorrow's court. Alright, Runa, it's time to kill this man. We can't lose in court if he's dead already. Sorry? Well, it did happen, isn't it? Put the gun at him, not me. Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds. Foot of the Crystal Tower. Showgrounds Australians are a little too big for my liking. I've been walking around for dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I feel like myself swooning 3 times. A lot of people, aren't there? I must have trodden 3 times too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Don't worry, I have a gun. If anyone tries to kidnap me, I'm gonna fucking shoot him. That's the British way. Until the America steals that from us. What was that? You hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Is it Sholmes and Gregson fighting? Oh no, it's Gregson and Gina. Right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah? What you got a shot? You ain't got no evidence, you know that. Wait, I know those voices. You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But alright, you got to sell the teacher some manners. Just try it, I dare ya. If you want to go, a bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yahoo! Jonesy! What are you doing up there? Ah! It's you! Here! You're here! You're here! Your ladyship! Your ladyship! How are you? Your ladyship! I hope you're well! Your ladyship! Does that make her 3 times lady? I'm not well at all! Far too busy everywhere! I wanted to run in a balloon, but they're all 3 hours queue! Unbelievable! I'll go and have a word with them at once, in your ladyship! You'll be flying on the highest sky in no time. Pull the strings for you. Yeah, probably. So, he's an arsehole, but he's really nice to Iris, because Iris is writes Sholmes' stories, and he's in them, and every time he's in them, he gets money. So he's nice to her to keep the money flowing in. Tobias Gregson, Inspector of Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear that he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. For that reason, he certainly can't say a word wrong to the story's author Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine! Sorry. I was in a monologue and you can't hear that. What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate, and you're not getting in my way again. Ha! Dear me. The situation, isn't it? Is it really troubling? Yes, I'm merely 5 bob. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, aren't you? You could stand to carry a bit more copper in your pockets, Nardo. What? Hey! That's my last bit of spending money, isn't that? You can have it back. I ain't change up for that after all, bothering you, Throb. It's a gentle on sale. I couldn't do a girly Cockney accent, so I made a very deep voice. In the case leading to ownership of the 6 months ago, this is the young girl who's defending in court. What's your problem here, Otto? Diver, pickpocket, what's with all the names you're calling? Your big old bag chip rammed down your throat too, ya? Can everyone read my inner logomogs in my mind? For goddamn sakes! I thought you were proud to be Diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Garrison about it, weren't you? I seem to be up to your usual tricks at all the showgrounds. There's no way of talking, young lady, Otto. I'll be here a long time ago. Please change. People can change. I'm an apprentice now. Learn to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you can have to call them what everyone else does. I'm Inspector holy shit. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. The Inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls it that. But it's worth anyways. Investigating isn't off the cards of all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well then, I'll be back to the top. You hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Ah, I love her music. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina, connected with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in East End with a group of other orphans. She helped them survive by pickpocketing, then got embroiled in a murder. I had a lot of time thinking in prison. I realised I couldn't go on like that was. Diving ain't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that, Jeannie. Well done! So you went from being a pickpocket to a detective. You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lonsday. Got to set like sounding like fucking book, eh? It's a sea change. And then Iris's old man to think about. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised it, didn't I? Get all the police forces around the world to pull whatever stops to look for him. He's dead. He died. We should probably tell Iris at some point. Just a small promise then, nothing serious. Alright, Jeannie, you're so sweet. Yeah, the very first case in the first game, Iris's father was the murder victim. So anyway, we all come out of test for Scotland Yard. The trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious about not being able to read as a detective. And that's when Hurley approached Gretzy and asked for help. As Meta said, I'd take full responsibility for Jeannie and made her a short-term apprentice. So it was a young magnanimous of an Inspector Gregson and brave. Magnanimous, that's it. Well, you know Hurley, he enjoys finding ways to make other people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, long and short of it, I got the questions now in the case. You can ask Inspector Lonsday. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina that isn't there. Oh, what's that, Runo? What? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was defended in a trial pursued by the Reaper. A trial which ended found not guilty, and yet you still. Come on, you're not gonna bomb about that, are ya? The Legend of the Reapers, whatever it's called. Core, I don't half worry about it, I know. I don't half worry about the problem that wouldn't be the whole world left. It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reapers kind of are like this upstairs, so I'm what on the inside that ain't done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be a stretching the point. What about notice him in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Hatsurita is more discerning than I thought. Exactly. So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Bowling ball hits her in the head and she dies. I was wrong. Core. What is? It was our was it? The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on this machine and suddenly started blowing smoke. Just then, it went pop. I ain't seen nothing better experiment yet. Sorry? You mean you saw it, Genie? Your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss in charge here, ain't he? He kept me enough running around, running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. That's got to take some getting used to. So I have to say, I'm not on duty. I can do whatever I want to. Get this. I was up in the old flying balloons when it happened. I watched it from above. Oh, no. You're lucky, Genie. Oh, maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know, I'll put the boss in the place already, like Iris. You have nothing to worry about at all. And it's settled. Where do I start? No, no, no. You can't join Scotland Yard, Irish. You're 10 fucking years old. Well, I see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded separately, seriously, how did the Professor Bunny Brain still be calm, claiming that experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success in a way. It was. How could it have been? He atomized someone to death. So after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. Like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of smoke and whooping big bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, huh? It's in the Crystal Tower over there. What? In the Crystal Tower? You see for yourself, can't ya? Up and above the scaffold. Oh, the ghost broke me. Okay, he wasn't atomized. He was just blown. He was just blown and flown across. Yeah, Cage one victim got started with. Really got beamed through the air, whatever. Landed all the way over there. So you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I'm pretty sure it just exploded and sent him flying. I mean, it didn't get to the ins and outs of it, and it's impossible, right? The science. I tell you what, you can have this. It's a planned experiment drew up in the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I got 3 of the bobs for you. Fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? You stole the money that made me used to buy this. Now what do you want to... Hey! I was talking to you. There's a question here, but it's pointing up here. Pretty sure I went... Broom! Ah! Blah, 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 blah. Tell you what the Gregson has said before, seemed a little strange. For what it's worth, you know, anyway. Investigating's off the cards for us all. Yeah, no, the old Gracie ran off without explaining himself. Alright, that. The boss says no one's allowed to investigate the weird machine that blew yesterday. Oh, that's not fair. We're representing the defense. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call it again? Forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay fingers on the scene. Bit funny, isn't it? Even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate? I've never seen anything like that before. I thought I could have a gander quite through, but the boss caught me at it. I probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't ya? It's not blatant fair. I think you were giving him as much as an earful back there, if I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all the chips that we make won't make me so stubborn. You gotta say something, dude. I'm gonna go on, see if you can get him through to him. He's in the pub and boss, is he? Where she exploded is. We can try, miss, can't we, Bruno? Gracie, you listen to us? Especially at gunpoint. Why don't you use your bazooka? No, my bazooka ran out of ammo. Wait, why is your bazooka out of ammo? Never you mind that. For some reason the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. It looks like there was a fire here or something. Yes, you look closely. There's a scattered around acid and burnt embers too. Oh, I suppose there's one big explosion just above here. People wouldn't be eye blind to the small fire like this would be. I'll try English quite that played back, Bruno. What is this contraption here? What is this steampunk looking motherfucker? Looks like somebody dropped this. Something behind the tree just there. Dropped or hid? Is that a crossbow? Was there some part of the machine that exploded? Maybe it could have fallen above in the boss perhaps. What you got there? Oh, nothing. I think I hang on to this just in case. That's a motherfucking crossbow. That's probably one of the most steampunky crossbows I've ever seen in my fucking life. There's some sort of lever here. What the? What is this? cross between a bow and a gun. A bow gun or a cross gun or a crossbow. No, that's a stupid name. But it's the same thing too. That's actually a crossbow with the thing. So you have to cock it for it to open up. Anything else? Just a groove here. Must be where your arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right. It's some sort of bow with automatic firing mechanism. It'd be perfect for some like he wants to catch his ear for the bowstring 2 times to 3. In fact, I'd find one of these I could have beaten the Kazuma and cardio archery training. Wait, you had archery training? Looks like you won this round in order to draw the bowstring back and create attention. Must be able to fire arrows a huge amount focusing using this device then. In fact, it would be imagined to take far more accurate, powerful Japanese longbows. I really had no idea what I was picking up when I spotted this exhibition grounds. You have a motherfucking crossbow now. I have successfully stolen evidence. Look, what's this? It's a piece of cloth. It's not like a fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. Looks like extremely durable. It's canvas, I think. Some sort of rubber backing. It appears to be a bit charred as well. It means something to do with the explosion. What's making out of it with Wakuni is mid-yawn? Yeah. Hey, you doing something over there? No, Judy. Get back to work, or I'll shoot you. Give the 10-year-old a gun. It's like the layers of thick canvas with a thick rubber lining of sorts. You've seen anything like this before? By applying Mr. Sherman's methods, you might be able to do as a part of the raincoat worn by someone who really didn't want to get wet. The charring must have occurred when the person was struck by lightning. Or maybe not. She didn't even respond, she just looked at me like, you're an idiot. So I was at the stage above. She got up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. The 22nd of October. The Great Exhibition Grounds. Experimentation stage. That's it. The machine that blew up. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. I've seen my fair share. You've seen like this before, you mean? Of course. I was always doing experiments with that end of bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. That will explain why the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time I made something that exploded with such a force, it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see, Runo. How do you get excited about that, given I now live in the roof? Well, anyway, that's enough about that. Time to investigate. Oh look, Inspector Crichton's over there. He's been deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully. Really? He does look confused to me. It ripped in half magnificently apart, didn't it? Magnificently and mercilessly! Someone stands in the middle of the machine, disassembled and beamed through the air. Yes, beamed! Just like in Willy Wonka! Well, beamed, not blasted at some, that's the point. That's partly crucial, really. Something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Bruno, I'm just a child, how should I know? A child when it suits you mean? From what Stop! Don't touch that! Aha! Practically instantaneous kinesis. That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew just now, Grigsy! Please, your ladyship, don't mean to startle you. But could you please... But I can't let you touch anything up here. Sorry, you have to see the most special blend. Make up for it. Ah, wonderful. Really, really wonderful. Just like old times, this is. Where's the big Professor Hairbrain in court tomorrow, Inspector? So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ha! Let the sunshine! Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. The boss and Special Defense Officer Science Equipment act to blame. Stop driving me. It's driving me potty. Ah, yes. Special dispensation. Specimen's there too. More red tape is all we need. I don't know what the government thinks of planet sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Eh? Sure, that's alright, isn't it, Quixie? Of course, your ladyship. Anything for you, say, your ladyship. Just please don't, dig your little dirty hands, will you? Don't worry. We won't dream of touching anything. Why would we know? Well, we did steal a crossbow 5 seconds ago. You saw what? Nothing. See how badly damaged everything is. Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, as I say. We could look around the machine while we can, I think. And touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung on myself here. I won't touch anything, I promise. So please, spare the thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think the machine could actually disassemble people, Professor claims? He's asking, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we're allowed to examine all the bleeding scraps of this metal, maybe you could answer the question. But we can't, so we can't. So we can't, can we? Was annoying rules, you mean? Exactly! Annoying, obstructive, flaming rules! Oh, look at the base of the machine. Yeah, there. Oh yes! There's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh. It's a screwdriver? I think. Oh, isn't it a lovely one? Head of the shape of a capital letter A. It is? Oh, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. You touch anything, I'll make sure. If you touch anything, I'll make sure to kill you before I get stung myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry, I only touched it teeny weeny little bit. Have fun, Dragon J. But Quixie, I'm a little curious about the screwdriver. Very, very curious. Of course, your ladyship. So clever, your ladyship. Fancy's putting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it. But Runa found it first. I assure you, I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's on off with it. Huh. That's very mean, I'm afraid. Inspector Gregson's going to make a very clumsy, embarrassing mistake in the next month's installment now. Poor Greggsy. I'm gonna ruin his reputation. Fuck him. He's not here. Let's touch everything. Oh, I can look up. It's an amazing horn-shaped device pointing towards the crystal tower. First people are disassembled by the machine, and they're shot out of that thing to wherever they were going. I don't think it's supposed to shoot anything, Runo. It's supposed to be set up a beam people across the tower where they were reconstructed in their original form. Well, I don't like the look of it. It's amazing when it looks that it actually wouldn't have happened. If it's amazing as it looked, the action wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course. I suppose that's true, yes. But nothing ever goes according to plan. Does it? You want to go on those balloons, but you can't, you little whiny brat. I don't see anything else I can look at here. Oh, he's still here. Using a high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam it across the castle tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it's by far one of the more unusual experiments planned for the exhibition in mind. To be honest, it's surprising it was allowed. You can't have something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government ain't doing everything it can to promote new science technology at the moment. There's more worried about them being ahead of the game than the odd spot of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop a new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future. I suppose that's true, in a way. So the power has been placed in the heavy emphasis on the sentence rights at the moment. Sort of rights. To make it so any theories of brains of reminded are legal property, as it were. Right through the development to practical idea, even through the production. Which is a very reason why our coppers aren't allowed to touch a crime scene. Because the new high full special suspension for scientific equipment Act forbids it. Oh no, the colony's getting extra quickly. Fire our men through the laser beam at their ships. I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from the brand new department in the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team is called. Being relegated to keeping guard. Forensic Investigation Team. Any fool can see that a heap of scrap metal is sham to begin with. But just because it says it's scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't blame him to do a thing with it. Poor Gregsy. He's very heads up, isn't he? Remind me again what this new legal act means. We're not allowed to touch the scene here. You're having at me, sunshine. It's a federal justification for Scientific Equipment Act. Yes. I think Hurley mentioned it recently. With a real twinkle in his eyes, I remember. I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Past especially for the Great Exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their idea and invention to suit them civil service. And then it's a rubber stamp and the guaranteed rights of the main invented confidentially. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world's changing new investments displayed every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of clubbers, if you ask me. Put forward the shammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions out here are. It's also fun. It might be fun to you, but remember the Force has been present in every single demonstration. Can you imagine it? Hag science is what I say. Oh, I don't think so. It sounds like my dream job. It's anything otherwise after spending the day guarding all these shamboggers' contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? But there'd be no point. Yeah, well, there's a point, Hadley. Sorry? Thanks to another one of our government's bright ideas. If any theories or inventions are deemed to show potential, the government hands out research grants. The scientists get funding. Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shamans are coming from far and wide to clog up the Hydra Park. And who has to keep them all safe? Who has to smile politely and say, welcome to the coppers, that's who. So you see, all I can say is now, can't you? Hag science, hang on. Hang it. Maybe I can see a point. Professor Hairbrain. Prime Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany, conducting his research. I got the voices wrong. That's right. He came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after the government research grants. Actually, we looked at something about the professor earlier today. Various time and further get teacher said that he was with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeek. What's this? That's noted to me. But if Lord Van Zeek means the prosecution, then as accused, the professor's fate is sealed because of the Reaper will get him one way or another. He's going to stab him. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I know what goes on in the head of his. I burned my pocket with the chip oil grease again. Fuck. Lord Van Zeek. This morning papers ran a story of him being attacked. Read it? Oh yes, the Reaper completely fine. Nothing to worry about. Bugger! Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reapers are. How long does a business keep them up? Gotta keep up, I wonder. The mystery of the Reaper! The victim in this case, investor Mr. Assman, was another one of Reaper's victims, so I heard. Lord Von Beek is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always be pushed the right verdicts through sometimes. Justice can't wait. It's heard about juries being bribed and evidence being falsified, and that's how the nation of the Reaper of the Bailey came to be about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. Well, Australia was taking matters into his own hands. He failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies the charge. Well, we've done every thorough investigation, and the conclusion that we've reached. Lord Van Zeeks is no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. If that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants could just have coincidentally died, but nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, that is. The whole point of the Reaper. Professor Haber mentioned something else. He said at the university Lord Van Zeek was a totally different person. Easygoing kind. You what? He said after the both graduated, something happened that changed the man. Do you have any idea what that was? No clue. It's not because I stepped on his puppy. No, not at all. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make your nuisance of yourself elsewhere? Fine then, I'll go start my own crime scene with blackjack and hookers. Are you standing dramatically at your table? He's gone. And the murder bats are back. I'm Lord Van Zeek. I think he's ignoring you, Runo. Look, the pursuit of venture to avoid speaking outside the courtroom as a rule. So if anyone's being rude here, it's most certainly the man in black stab who is standing before us. Oh, I see. Oh, thank you for setting the record straight. Hey, did you see that? He spoke to me, Runo. So Lord Van Zeek, have you managed to visit the Great Exhibition yet? Blair. He's never ignoring you. Right, no niceties either. Stop standing so dramatically. Stop T-posing. He's half T-posing at me. I didn't look up here. Hello. Crystal Tower, certainly an apt name. It was built to the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is being tall without all that glass. I can't imagine building that's ever been erected in Japan. Ha ha ha! There is a giant pyramid in Japan now. There's lots of exhibitions inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, with that exhibition deck, there is also a art gallery, zoo, and music. A zoo? But yeah, we have a queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. Well, the moment shattered the glass for the failed experiment, may as well be the biggest straw. I think of the accident, the whole tower is shut. So it's not so Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. But everyone's taken to the skies, so now look down at the disaster from above instead. But there's 3-hour queue to go up in the balloon now. London must have very patient people. That's where the cove ended up after its instant kinesis, or whatever they called it. They know, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success. That's what is scaffolding there for? The coppers, our lads, set up and after the incident happened. They get the body down, I think, Bruno, really. Don't you help? Did you help work the scaffold then? Nah, look out doing is more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition, keeping lookouts for fun stuff. Mind Gregson didn't hear you say that at all. He'll give you a boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could Ritzy have been bridged the gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Runa! What is it? I've been thinking. Harry might know something, mustn't he? About what? About the Reaper! About what happened? To Lord Van Zeek, you mean? It sounds like something very significant occurred after his graduation from university. Since they completely changed his life. Maybe, but I've no idea where to find Mr. Jones at this moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he? Yeah, this is what you need. What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tespils. This must be something to me. Oh, you don't know? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. Very close to Baker Street, actually. We can go do it now if you like. Oh, no. We don't have time for visiting attractions today. There's a big trial tomorrow. That's where Hurley is. What? At the popular London attraction? Yes. And how do we know where he is? Hurley told me. He told me to keep a secret from Bruno. Madame Tespils. I don't see how this could relate to the case of what's the investigation here, but then stranger things have happened. Aris's theme. The 22nd October, Madame Tespels, Tuspels, Museum of Waxworks. Are these all his cases? What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. What about the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murders. You know what I'll be dreaming about tonight? They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Bruno? Shocked? Wax models? Ah! I read about dead bodies and wax punks in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses were kept after death, parts of them can turn into wax, apparently. It's called a abscor? Don't talk about creepy things like that, Bruno. You're scaring me. Anyway, it's a tool that doesn't form me readily, you know. Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who was used to pour molten wax over her corpses and put them into a display. Nobody's meant to hear of real. They're all tiny man-made replicas. They can't be. Do you expect me to believe that? Let's look at them. Oh. There's no way we could make a model out of people that realistic. Fucking Sholmes! There was such gruesome... Wait. What is it? Oh no, I must be seeing things. Also, hand. Is that an arm? Looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe a waxwork model has fallen over. You don't think it could be work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you? Bruno, stop scaring me. Is it a wax arm or a real one? Come on, do you always point out the finger at your or poke at your arm and see what it feels? Objection. Mr. Sholmes, what the fuck are you doing? It's the great detective Sherlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes is his own wax statue in here, really. Well, it's more famous after all. An uncanny resemblance, isn't it? Makes your skin crawl to look at it. I know. You can look at it. You can kick the shell and it doesn't move a muscle. Can't go around kicking his. Can't go around kicking his infant's iris. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. It's just a little bit either. Really? Did it? Look closely. There'd be the sweat on its face of this Wackworst model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene of joy. What's more appealing? My dear fellows, I took exception to you recoiling in such a manner, as if I'd seen something of a truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes, I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? This strictly forbade you from delving deep into my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Narado. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? That kick! You could not have exercised a little more restraint. You winded me. But Runo has something I need to ask you. A question. I thought you're probably getting bored too. So here we are. Well, I can't deny your timing was impeccable. Treat me a minute more of being searching like that, and the great brain, would of which all my tears have been green, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness I arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, a pair of you just saved me the world of an unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, you do talk like nonsense, don't you? He could know something is true, but Lord Van Ziek and what happened in the past should change him. Now, what are you here to look? Let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? You're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken to the idea of conveying. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. If my eyes do not deceive me, I lay something afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it's related to the matter of which you have come to now. But how could it be? We will speak of this again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. Back to being temporary waxwork exhibit. Can I kick him? What is this place? Madame Chesbell's came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened the Little Waxwork Museum last year, I enjoyed great popularity in London. There's a museum like this in Japan too, but displays of something else. I mean, are they made of actual real people? There, are they? Extreme realism of the working models is the secret of Turnspell's family, they say. She earned renown during the French Revolution for waxwork's victims of the guillotine. Ugh, that sounds grim. The grim adventures of Billy Mandy. I love that show. The gruesome scenes were portrayed in such realism that the expressions of the faces of the condemned. Apparently, sculptors would make models of directly from the corpses, right there on the side of the executions. That really turns my stomach. That's just one of the several legends about Turnspell's family. Whether or not they're true, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum's house of models of famous people all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum is by far the margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course! Visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people usually flock here to see the exhibition of some of London's most foul criminals and the gruesome works. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here are sent to the gallows. So even the stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn for to be shocked. So hideous exhibitions in here. They're all portrayals of real events as it took place. Is it just me or the temperature in this here just seems to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about it. That's what you see here. Oh, he's back to being waxwork, is he? What do you mean by temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibitions here, catching the criminals in the case, in the act, catching them. Every half an hour, I home on a different killer on one of the displays. I adopt a new pose into all the dudes near them. Then members of the public come to take a close look and I offer them a handshake. For a shilling, they're happy to allow me to shake the photograph with us. Us? Does that mean him and the waxwork murderers there? But why, Mr. Sholmes? Why, my dear fellow, isn't obvious? For the money! Money! Money, 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 money! He's really roared him here there. Very fitting to the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may be struggling to pay this month's rent. I have been revenue arrives to consider. Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry. If you push the chums, I have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Noto. Is that he's threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? A special treat. Maybe a pic of the murderers and scoundrels in here. It's your choice. Maybe some other time. Ha! Remember, Mr. Noto, ignore me at your own peril. And back to being waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remarks sound like a curse? He just fucking threatened me. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Sorry. It's about Lord Van Zeke. Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How'd you find him? Well, I trust. And so I filled in Mr. Jones about everything I learned. About Lord Van Zeke, about Professor Harebrained, and about the strange coincidences they've been at the university together. I wonder how to make such a different person. Oh, sure that you know, Hurley. You said something about going on here in this exhibition before. Tell us what's afoot, and that you believe that it's related to what I want to ask you about. Was his family murdered, Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Wow, you seem to have reached the unavoidable greetings. Oh no, it's the Lady Witch. Oh, hello. Where'd you appear from? What you wearing? Look more mysterious. Hope! Approaching my museum! Sorry, have we? Mr. Sholmes, do you know that... Not again! My apologies! I'm in Motorspell! This is my Museum of Waxworks! You're Madame Turnspell? Sembia! Through the 26 years young, I'm my dad. That's significant. Is that significant, Hamhow? I'm Madame. I'm the only. As the certain G and no square. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. That would be Mr. Sholmes then. I was led to believe that the great detective, but he seems to be unavailable to settle. Next time you move from your designated expedition, I'll be toil and trouble. But she sounds deadly serious. That's the problem. I'm supposed to ask Mr. Shane's at Lord Van Zeek's now. Let's not forget Hurley said before about something being afoot right here in this museum, I mean. Yes, I know, but I'm curious. Want to go see what happened there? Have we got enough on our plate already? You make all these waxworks, Madame Turnspell? Where? I am the graduate waxworks artisan now. Gosh! Where it was the grandfather who began this tradition in my family. Before he inherited, living through the turbulent of times of the French Revolution, as he did. That's how the acquired the souvenir fair and leads to astonishing life like this. These waxworks really look like they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. Well, you see this machine of most atrocious London criminals in the past. All the waxworks are created in presence of the real people in which they are modeled. For hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I assume. To carry one's trade for excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. Magnificent are a reflection of society. I credit them to the public wishes they see. Why couldn't it be a public wish for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is only one of the millions such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. The models of famous singers, actors, politicians, something even from every taste, I hope. It was ours who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it. Sorry, but I thought I could ease you into things. What is the situation with that? A temporary waxworks model. You approached me some days ago, you see? With a business proposal. What sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these positions need is an additional world-famous great detective. Oh, the words of that effect. Ha! Naturally, I was well aware of Sholmes widely known for his talented detective. The great detective, actually. He's very stupid at the title. Yes, but the creme de la creme, so I came to the arrangement for him for a course. But sadly, I was unable to agree to the terms. Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge exorbitant prices for his services. For a mere £500, I'll dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Or to words to that effect. Mr. Show might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds for the moment, due to unforeseen circumstances. So we carry the current arrangement instead. Sure, he doesn't really need that what he's doing though, does he? I would think not, but he's very insistent. I have 50 shillings problem. That must resolve by this morning. Or to words to that effect. Is it the pawnbroker? That's what it is. He must have something to redeem. The cultural detective work's not going so well. I wonder, could I ask you something? Bonsoir. I'm just curious, is there anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Well, it was, he's fucking, every time I walked over there, he mentioned it to me, that little, oh, he disappeared. I waxed model, what's not? Not charging for trade. Ah. There you are! Think I did it again. You should be working. Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madam Cecil, save your reprimands for more pressing concerns. The wax and wait. Our ideas about your current problem must be thrown to melting instead. Personally, I'd advise you not to involve the police. Why have I not? She turned white as sheet. Because you have your disposal, the great detective whose services may employ for 50 shillings. Though, please be aware that I still prefer no insist upon payment in advance. Fuck off. Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Before I engage in aesthetic possession, I must ask you to clarify something. What praise behind the curtain? That's the Turnspell Special Exhibition. It's an extra charge to see it. Ah, special exhibition in the House of Horrors. It must have been a serial killer then, I presume. The reason I'm going to draw back the curtain, I wonder. Absolutely none. There's something I missed behind there. Nothing to miss, madame. How about the arm protruding out from underneath the curtain? Oh. I totally encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I'll draw back the curtains, but only Saquon. This bloody... Should we be investigating, the case about the person? Number 132. I must confess, peeking behind the curtain earlier. The Turnspell Special Exhibit is a bleak graveyard scene indeed. It's somewhat unsurprisingly, the waxed killer would one expect is nowhere to be seen. That doesn't strike you however. Wait, I know that person. The portrait has been laying peacefully in the back on the floor. He looks familiar. What? Well done, perhaps, Mr. Sholmes. What's the man on the floor? Is that man on the floor Rufus Killer himself? I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As carefully made these waxworks are, they're always distinguishable from the real humans. So, let me spread to you two conclusions. Here we go. Time for some fun. A sizable business transaction has been taking place behind this special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second is the utmost tradition is linked to a serious crime. Oh, looks pale as the candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Turnspell, as you may agree to my fee, I shall now have the pleasure of seeing the famous great detective's temporary exhibit at work. Here we go. It's the fun times with Mr. Sholmes. The waxwork's fate. To begin with, let's ask ourselves what exactly is the video in the museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes proceeding hopefully from your bag. Its estimation is about £200. That's my own money. But there's a large amount of money to reveal. As such involuntary glance you cast, it would seem that Mr. Benedetto, yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. Specifically, the £200 revealed the public notice. Work for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer counterpiece to your special exhibit for the sum of £200. None. Now let's explore the next curiosity which they presented. It was a poor gentleman stretched out peacefully on the floor. It appeared the man suffered severe shock. Of course, a cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. Whatever the much of shocking below you, of course, is the £200. Nope. If either you twisted the gentleman around, the little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rationally agreed to purchase the wax sum of £200. Only when he came to handle the money over, it did occur to him that an extraordinary amount was paying. The money was not going in his hands. Here's the result he's seen before us. He collapsed in shock. What the fuck? Yes, the killer's special exhibit featured the killer's price. We can only pray the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. The fuck was that conclusion? Sold for cash. Waxwork location. My question is arise then. What has come of the waxwork that was changed hands? Let us consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. It merely strikes me that its condom is a young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? Finally answered only to observe the neckerchief. What? That's the one by the policeman has seat sign to follow the members of the force of crime being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He's been triple accolades for last year's preparations accords. But next turns the addition to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly vintage. I've been watching closely. He hasn't moved a muscle in respect to his work at waxwork. But your action only confirms suspicion, madame. I noticed that one at once. Observe. That turns out to instantly prove the whether or not this person's backwards is obviously the price tag. Tuppence. Technically low price, I must say. Although perhaps going the rate aged waxwork fabricator is cracked. And yet, you sold it to a portly gentleman for over £200. The sort of plucky behaviour is sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard, isn't it? Isn't that sorry, madame? I don't know. Yes, actually yours sold earlier seized upon the police. Remains in the custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibition a moment too soon. That concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of the horrifying puzzle. And the server just stares at him. I say it's not your own the silence. You have, Hurley, you have. You obviously upset the young lady here in the process. Her costume looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious noticer. 1 point, all ears, my dear fellow. According to the deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So wouldn't it mean that he's particularly ruthless murder, wouldn't it? The killer policeman! What a mole! Sorry? There's a serious series of murders that rattled the capital last year. Police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. It turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer of the name of Otto Mole. Well, the mole in the police force wasn't... The mole in the police force was actually a mole! Is that a sinister looking old man supposed to be? Indeed. Particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that Odyssey considered only too well. 200 pounds a lot of money for a mock wax model. It'd be enough to afford anyone the last steamer carries, put it in perspective. So, it's quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. That boiling wax looks more and more ominous. Ah! The smell of that molten wax is starting to worry me. Mr. Sholmes did more than just accuse that to the face, so I think we'll have to call upon your assistance here, Iris. Is that alright? Make a minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. Of course it's alright. Shall we get things straight? Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madam turns off vents her anger. That's what I was waiting for to hear, my dear fellow. So Madam Turnspell, in accordance with our agreement, We shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective's temporary visit at work. You fucked up! Begin with, the mustache taken us exactly where I was put in the museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding out of your bag. Estimation sum of £200. Was that all your own money? So does that mean a large sum of money reveals? Ah, not to mention the involuntary glance you just cast would seem as answer spell. Yes, the answer lies with your own eyes, now full. The second of it is the £200 revealed by the public notice. Oh no, reality's broken again. She never looked in that direction, it's true. I'm not sure she'd sell the waxworks even for £200. Oh? You must pour a heart and soul into making them. I don't think. Do you think about the wax? For me, I wouldn't sell them for anything. For that much money, I would, but it sounds like it make me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder £200 could have some other significance. Let's follow the fugitive's glance again and see where anything can explain it. I'm pretty sure it's the portly man. I don't see anything else I can choose. He seems one of them is alive after all, just not alive and kicking. He's not wax or a model or mass murderer. I'm not trying to pay £200 for him. I don't think the man's up for sale. Well, anyway, it was a silly place to put him. It could easily trip. I don't think the man was put there on purpose either. I can move the camera slightly. Hello? What's this? What's this note pinned to the wall here? Oh yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tespel, we've taken the prisoner of this room. The price of this safe's return is £200. Have the money ready noon 23rd October. What? This is just like sort of thing that was left behind when somebody was kidnapped. Yes, it's a ransom note. Exactly. Okay. Idea. Mr. Arsman isn't actually dead. They replaced him with a wax statue in the contraption and faked his death.
Take that!
Break reality. There we go. Reality's fixed. So to the £200 and revealed the ransom note. Quite so. I must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting waxwork. Ugh. £200 is no small ransom fee, yet clearly intends to pay it. The one in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. In summary then, £200 you have is your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next category which we are presented. Prisoner's poor judgment stretched out peacefully on the floor. You fear the man has suffered a severe shock, cause of which is clearly known to you. Fortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. I dealt with such a shocking blow, which cost £200. Wrong again, bucko. So if Waxworks was kidnapped, where does it leave the terms of who this man is? We could just ask him when he comes around. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. Yes, you're right. He's trying so hard, we mustn't let him down. Well, there's little doubt he suffered a shock. Must be something clear. In that case, what's my sense I'm trying to hide? Let's have a close look around. Whoop. Ooh. There's another hand there. Why does you have two hands? That's her right hand, isn't it? Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all. But wait a minute. The left hand, well, look. I don't say such creepy things, Iris, please. And it seems very stiff too. In fact, it's really hard. You mean it's made of wax? It's made of wax?
Take that!
Without such being struck with blow was caused the waxwork hand. Indeed. Without waxwork's limbs, you can deliver a very substantial blow. How could you? And protruding from the body or cape. Or about her right hand. Because the victim reveals to in fact be a left hand. Somewhat speculative as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. The hand of a waxwork's model. Some visitors made in the museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. You mean that, yes, this gentleman saw fit to try and remove it as a souvenir. Small keepsake! Like taking a whole bunch of taking a bunch of a cherry tree when you go through the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach a man a lesson. You confronted a man who tried to take the arm back. And as a result, the scene before us, he was knocked unconscious. The point we need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. Topic number 2. The question arises then, what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. It really strikes me as a conundrum. Is this young man standing over there? It was his fellow to find the answer. We need then to observe the neckerchief. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign the policeman crime on the way. A way of communicating college without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret closely guarded by Scotland Yard. And Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give it away. Well, uncovering secrets is a true detective's nature, of course. Right, anyway, judging by the Mr. reaction to this action, I suspect we might not have identified the man's correctly.
Take that!
Here's this fellow to find the answer. We need to only observe the shoulder stub. No such brilliant man walks the earth, I can only assure you. In other words, this man standing here, the young surgeon Clay, is in fact defies all odds in the waxworks model. I seem to remember it was you that included the person with the rule in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of the no less than 3 policing awards last year. I thought we had to make a model of the man. Naturally! That is plain as an order. What's the detective arm that pulled off by the man on the floor? Special visit, wasn't it? Next we turn our attention to the old man sat before him, in particular unsightly visage. I've been watching him closely as he moving a muscle, almost as in fact if he were a waxwork. But your accurate action confirms my suspicion, madame. At first once of course. Telltale silence instantly prove whether or not this man's a waxwork is obviously the price tag. The price tag attached to the scarf, not him. A clear policeman called Otomo, was that well known? It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. The very low price so determines as much money. Fairly enough for a few music hours of gas in the game, it's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this special killer is taken from a special exhibit, is it? Or could somebody stole from the museum and tied the rent with £100? This crusty old police officer mole, really? I have to have a look around again and see if there's any idea of cops. See, can we find any?
Take that!
It tells us on instantly that whether or not this fan is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the more realistic waxworks cannot exhibit a twitch. In other words, this plain old manufactured genuine member of Scotland Yard. So let's shift your choice of adjectives then. There you have it. Madam turns out. Well, what? It was me who contacted police to demand that someone come in for the first place. He's really fatigued. Fatigued. He sounds asleep. But then, what's his tag for showing his place at his friends? And down the price tag of the muffler, which old Bobby has purchased recently at the local market. I presume you observed the scarf tied around the arm. Does not strike you as... Does strike you, Senator? Yes, the secret sign of the detective showing that someone's criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because, as you know, there's been just a criminal activity happening here. As you deduced in the very beginning, Detective. So, it would seem they were finding out the truth. The waxworks of the special reckless killer on the central exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remains a mystery. This concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction and horrifying puzzle. Still a mystery. Deduction complete! It's elementary! Elementary schools for kids. All sort of people visit my museum here, women, children, and the old. Sometimes I drop in just for a short time, for the pub, and work at the mall. But if anyone tries to damage any of my exhibits, I don't take it lightly. Anyway, the great deduction was even more enchanting than I had led to believe. I did all the work. I had made everything wrong. It was my pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified to enjoy the spectacle. As for young rough customer, I doubt he'll be regaining consciousness soon home. What concerns me more, the waxworks on the special display. It was indeed a genuine abducted. Yes, tragically it was. I would ask you to recount the events that surrounding the waxwork. Much detail as possible, if you please. Very well, but after I've told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. Boop. There it is, I thought so. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Tell us more about the Storm Waxworks landscape, please. It was some days ago now, I believe. It came in one morning. You merely noticed the waxworks was missing from the special exhibit here. The most prominent... It must be on display! What the... So that's why the curtains are closed. And I found the red's no plate in its place. You must have broken in during the night and taken it then. And this waxworks was stolen! A model of a horrible criminal, I suppose. A practically horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left more profound scars in society than any other. The Professor. Not a name I've heard of. I thought it'd be Jack the Ripper. Sorry, Mr. Donato. The circle is complete. Sorry? The Professor happened to be around the time I was born, didn't it? Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of marriages that rocked the capital. 10 years ago. Yes, exactly the time. The Bonfax graduated from university, in fact. Did he kill his parents? What? Surely you're not saying. So the big event that changed Mr. Ripper's life. I just summarized. What's the professor's case? Who's the professor then? Professor! A series of gruesome murders that all replaced Lenin gripped the terror of decades ago. After 5 victims were killed, men arrested as put to death. And now he's immortalized and waxed for all the London to admire and enjoy! Though of course, you have to be as in the present account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is it related to Lord Van Zeeks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why did the professor earn such infamy? Due to the victims he chose, were the White House finest. You mean Hurley? Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy, members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country administration. Members of the... Oh wait, of course. Professor Hasbrain said, Lord Van Zeek's family from noble blood. Oh gosh! It was the fifth victim that led the professors to arrest. The last of the killers preyed a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zeek. No, I don't believe it. Van Zeek's. I'm sure you can piece it together the rest of yourselves. In the wake of this older brother's murder, young Brunswick pursued a career prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper as we know today. I had no idea Von Zeek had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter. For the time being, at least. After all, I have work to do. That's a Wax exhibit. Push him over! So hold that pose as we push you over. I'm afraid I have to excuse myself as well. Oh yes, of course. It's been a pleasure, thank you. Stop, put the $200 in the bag, not poking out of the bag, you fucking idiot. Well, none of the particular scenario we've been analysing involved in came through here. It's been too long! It really has! I'm delighted to see you, Ben! And you, Brooke? Blur. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in the prison for all place else. I can't forgive myself what happened to Mr. Aspen, I can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow, Blur, the court will decide. Yes! I have a young Ethan acting in my defense. He's not reliable enough, though. It was an accident, a terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. Blur, I must warn you. Oh, I know. I have it already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Blur, yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Brooke, are you really... Blur, Nani? Never mind. I know we're the best, you have my best interests at heart. Blur, my friend is on trial. I wouldn't trust anyone else. Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Brooke. Baroque. Blur, until tomorrow then. I'll see you on court. I had the chicken in the wall for you over there if you get hungry later. It's better than the food I give you. To be the continuings. Save your current progress. Yes. October, 8:52 AM. The Old Bailey Defendants Arch Chamber. I can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in the court, and now here I am, back to the Old Bailey. I think the prisoners have been staying there 6 months, and they're now I think they're wax catchers now. Hey, little Mac. It's okay. I know your fight with Bold Bull took a long time. Ah, Mr. Nododo. Good morning, Professor Hairbrain. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmosphere's pressure is off the charts. I've never felt anything like it. It's crushing me. I feel it every time I'm here, and that's gravity. Well, this is the British highest court. Are you telling me that fit to some kind of device that can actually control air pressure? I think it's probably in the mind. Ah, yes, well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Nanado? I'm counting on you to this trial to save my life. To save the secret of the super high voltage interconnect machine that's been made public. Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. As established and exposed 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident. Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail. My compatriot, Mr. Nardo, you appear to have been lumbered the most tiresome of case here. Mr. Sholmes, I didn't expect to see you here. What? That was very mean, Bruno. Leaving me alone at home with Hurley. It took me at least an hour to wake him. Are you Sherlock Sholmes? Indeed, sir. I am Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, I heard all about your exploits. Even whilst in Germany. Ah, yes. The latest magazine sold in Germany too. This month's installment is a sublime. Your detection adventure of the Silver Blade was wonderful. Ah, yes. Memorable case indeed. It concerned a Stik, if I seem to recall. No, that was a speckled band. Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support. I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. Oh? I've heard you visit Madam Turnspell. You mean your waxwork job? Oh, no. The waxwork's abduction, of course. Madam's engaging my services. Ah, so you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you? The week's wages depend on it, and it does say for return to waxworks naturally. As such, I intend to give my undivided attention. Oh well, never mind then. I understand. Of course, my skills of observation and reasoning are evolving. The matter will be easy to provide a pie. I shall return forthwith. For until I solve this case, I have no money to afford the pie of any description. Oh, you must absolutely give it all your full attention, Hurley, or I'll shoot you in the arse again. No shooting in the arse, quiet. No shooting in the arse, Iris. But life is riddled with ironies, you know. And by us, riddled with iron bullets. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire of pie. One of my universe's intellectual mysteries, you might say. Oh yes, quite definitely, absolutely. I'm like, oh yes, quite definitely, absolutely. I totally understand. Is someone a little starstruck? I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Hairbrain. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Before I depart, Mr. No, a word to your ears, please. What is this about? As your remarkably little grinding signs, I feel I ought to inform you. As familiar as the supreme high voltage internet purpose may be, its practical implications, such was attempted by the first expedition, are quite impossible. But the percentage of the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear the friendly belief was. I read the President's printed paper about it too, Bruno. I have to say. I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically. So he's completely breaking up the wrong tree. How could an experiment have no possibilities of succeeding, in fact succeed? That's contradictory. And that's a contradictory that will have to be at the heart of the trial, I have no doubt. What's this supposed to mean? Now, let's hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellows. See you later, Hurley. Goodbye. Why do he say that when he leaves? I don't know. He's a freak. Well, looks like we're on the way. On our own today, Bruno. But shut up, you can do it. Or, what about you, Iris? Oh no, I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do. I see. I'm going to be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is. Huh. Are you developing silver bullets to kill Von Van Zeke for me? Oi, 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 cancel the friends and the defendants. The court is about to begin a session. Make your way into the courtroom at once. Oi, oi, oi. Run away. Expected that laws of science can't possibly succeed, and the scientists who convinced that he did it. The riddle you have there is unlocked here, Renosuke. The key to this case. The 23rd of October, 9:10 a.m. Old Bailey Courtroom. Oh! Holy shit! A whole new jury! What is this madness? Ho ho ho! The Court of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court is now in session. We are sitting today for public trial of Professor Albert Harebrain. I now call from the counsels the defense and declare the witness to proceed. Blah! The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Defense is ready, my lord. I'm 6 months out of practice, and what's more? Oh my god, she's a ghost! Run for your lives! We found something here today. Ah, it's just my imagination, or does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual? Oh no, she was back in Japan. She's alive. The first trial you actually play as a females aren't allowed in the Japanese courts, so you play her dressed up as Naruto. Oh, I must recognize the victim of this case all too well, Mr. Oldie Ass Man. Blah, Mr. Ass Man was one I'm finding now to the merely front of criminal activities. Ho! It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Van Deeks, but the jury and none found him not guilty. The very member of the jury had been bribed by the sound of it. Powerful London criminal prepared to go to extreme lengths to see they keep their freedom. Oh, which is on 25th of October, Mr. Erdno met his end. The work of the Weaver, was it? Blah. If you know your lordship with the trial of the father of the Weaver, the fact remains that Mr. Asman is dead. Death. I couldn't help myself, Erdno. Was the direct result of action caused by Professor Harebrain. Oh, very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've been protected random purposes of the people. Just you will have for your security duties. I'm most gratefully excited to carry this important civic duty, my lord. Yes, the fate of the planet man in one hand. Oh gosh, oh golly. The sound shivers down my spine. What did David Blaine sound like? I can't remember what David Blaine sounds like. Pick a card, any card. Experiments of magic extraordinary card room trials. Nothing more than performances. E equals MC squared. Wait, how the fuck did the little kid? I'm yet to listen to the fence, but I have this head on. What is it? And that's the guy from the Wax Museum. It's like my day. What's it like at all? Jesus fucking Christ! Put down the gun. That's the police killer. The police killer on a mole. Looks like again. It's as exhausted as ever, it seems. Oh, now you're a little aware. Intends a judge today typically look at the place of great position, shortly after the opening. Blah. The death toll could have been far worse. The situation of the victim, only one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited truly represents the nightmare of the spectators. Oh, traditional events and such. As of all London know, the whole world is on trial. It's our duty to reach a conclusion, I feel. So, Opening statement, please. Lord Van Zeke. Blair. The heart of this incident. Technology never been demonstrated anywhere in the world. Oh, besides those developments, I take it. They have to keep capitalizing the great exhibition to prove the British technological advantages. Blair. The technology demonstrated at Cures was described as super high voltage entertainment kinetics. Oh, good lord! It's designed to disassemble a human subject using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they're subsequently reassembled. Oh, such things even realm the possibility. I know it is because I'm Santa, that's how I get around the world, but not the only one. Well, I don't believe that's for sure. There's so many people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking. Math question. And nah, the whole idea of the hypothesis is another side of Scotland there. So I believe you're a fellow Royal Society. Are you not? Explain to us what your field. I am the world myself consider a factor intelligent mechanism like a proper clock. This expert Mr. Shames is in agreement. It's impossible. Oh, the prosecution will do on the matter. The prosecution would like to assert Blair that the Actios instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. What? 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 Order! Order! The proposal is currently under investigation by the British government. If it determined to have merit, the subject research guide would be made available. Of course, made the use of the invention to build a new hypothesis to take a person's life. In order to be the sole benefactor of the grant. But Blair, the station of demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim. Oh, thank you, Lord Van Zeke. The first necessity is now clear. We will now bring forth the witnesses to substantiate the claims. Blair, gladly, my lord. Betlaf, bring the first ones into the stand. Oi, 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 oi. Blair, with the state on them and occupation for the court. Sir, yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector, Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. All on duty to demonstration of the day in question and in charge of the full investigation. Albert Harebrain, sir, scientist. Blair, you are born in England but have been carrying out your research in Germany recent years, correct? Yes, that's right. After graduation of university in Britain, I spent work in Germany and made an amazing discovery, which I brought me back. I just demonstrated my incredible hypothesis of the Great Exhibition. Well, it's demonstrated incredible, right? Incredible explosion. But science is a success. It's as good as it worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. Yes, there was a terrible accident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success. Well, I must understand, undeniable. We show the photograph taken by the forensic examination team. Second entire Crystal Tower, I take it. Take it to the Crystal Tower. There was a vision of this. That's right, my lord. It says they rammed right into it. I see. Very well then. This is pretty good evidence. What the victim's incident was Mr. Oldie-ass man. The number of allegations made against the bad put him inside the behind ban. Man, the man who financed the research for the experiment determined himself. Oh, I see, that's almost the situation. The defendant accused of taking the life of the man who funded his work. Would that be correct? Exactly. But couldn't it be that the explosion caused by the malfunctioning apparatus used for demonstration? That's right! That must be it! My spotted machine! My poor spotted machine! You short essay, didn't you? Can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. What? The wreckage! The wreckage! Oh, but it's been cased now, the facts have been established. You can possibly determine whether or not this is an accident or a reckless act. Blah, examine simply, my lord. Beg your pardon? That's right, the witness. What? Sorry, me? Blah, no, don't never. Yes, sir. It was murder, plain and simple. Anyone could say it complete certainty. What? How could you possibly think that? Oh, thank you, Inspector. You had better proceed to formal testimony. You explain to the court what in the ground you claim the parent found murder. The corpse would crash into the crystal tower and broken neck. I made a minor miscalculation to angle the beam projection, that's all. It was my mistake. But the post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound. There's a lesion in his chest where it clearly had been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. My victim was killed before he went anywhere. This fellow is the only one who could have done it. Oh, extraordinary business. Just on suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart? Information would really like to have had from the start someone other than the judge. Coroner says the death would have been all but instant from the wound like that. Blah. Consider the fact that the victim was killed twice by the accused. No! It could have been further from the truth. We have examined the plan, but the experiment's plan document that was submitted to the security team. There's a subshop inside the thing called the birdcage, ready to be beamed instantly. The second level of the crystal tower, about 25 feet yards away. Right, it's never done go according to the plan. However, the machine was put into when the machine was put up in a large explosion. The blast caused the beam to transmit out to a point higher than intended. Accordingly, the killer resulted in the birdcage materializing in midair. From where it specifically fell and crashing to the ground around the window. Oh my words! What if the victim's neck would be broken upon impact with the tower then? I'm so sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen, but it was just too powerful. But honestly, really, I swear, it was just an accident, a terrible accident. Blah, unfortunately, excuses can't save y'all. No, consider the sharp murder weapon was pierced the victim's heart. Murder weapon? What are you saying? We have all types of Blair, we have all types of the coroner. Question would like to enter it into the court records. Oh. Your question is granted, counsel. So it's been entered into the court record. I'm perfectly announced for the whole lyrical performance. I'm my favorite alphabet, the cleverest for scientist. Oh really? I do account for Matt being him. Hard to think anyone else was, really. Oh, very well, counsel. The defense, proceed with the cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. I need to focus on here. It's been a while. The corpse was meant to crash into the barracks. Costello, breaking the neck. Hey, what are you doing? I gotta look at this first. Oldie Esman. 24, British, time of death. Here's the wound in the chest, pierced the heart, inflicting sharp movement. Observation: the broken vibrator was likely result of impact after sudden fall from a considerable height.
Hold it!
What about it was the crossbow that shot him and killed him? Research the men fell from the quadruple height. Exactly. Which highlights something else about the whole rum business. What's that? Blah. The fact that the instantaneous mechanism itself was a success. Ah. After the explosion, the cage what fell inside suddenly appeared out of nowhere in midair. Although the experiment although the experiment was a disaster, so continuous did occur. Reminds you the professor, what the first was a disaster. I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projection. That's all, it was my mistake. Now trying the position, don't switch the concerns are and
Hold it!
So an angle projection is critical, isn't it? You calculated yourself personally. Absolutely! The oceans are far too complicated for anyone to carry out! I think you're wrong, didn't ya? Yes, that's right! That's the point, the oceans are so complicated, even I can make a mistake! Do people fall for brazen confidence? They should try it. I took the account of the subject's height and weight, the wind direction, the ambient temperature. Without every possibility, I didn't understand. How could this have happened? Obviously then, you had to include the weight of the clothes, which was during the times, I suppose. Ah! Crackling comments! The answer would have been 3! So much for safety first, 3 must be for safety third. Well, the post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound.
Hold it!
Another fatal injury, you say? Doesn't make any sense. I don't think I have to spell it out for you. Here we go. Just because there are 2 fatal wounds doesn't mean you're saying the victim had 2 lives to lose, does it? 2, right? Obviously, at first, the bloke would die due to spine being snapped in half as well. But you're saying that's not the cause? You're getting your answer once I've finished your fish and chips. Don't go busting every few seconds. But we all know that's a bottomless bag. Dun, 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 dun. Blah, the victim fell 30 feet onto the glass tower. We resident about the saw that as the cause of the death. Right. So we all thought, but red herring wasn't it? There's a lesion in the chest, clearly been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. The first is nothing of the circumstantial information. Blah, the prosecutor received this apart from the forensic investigation team only this morning. It's the first we know of this as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense. Sarcastic and insincere. Thanks. So what's the nature of the sharp object? Blah, among the kills tools there used to be a suspicion or a particular interest. This. Alright, it would be some kind of screwdriver. It wouldn't. Ah! There he is! My trusty companion, the companion! Andrew! Andrew? Of course. Ah, do we know each other already? One of my dear friends. One of my, all my tools. I'd name them all. They're one big, one happy family. Andrew, the flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother, Michael, was a crosshead. But Andrew has a red stain on his stock. Ah, that isn't blood. It is blood. I looked it and tested its flavor. It is AB negative, just so you want to know. No. That's not all. Along sharp St. Andrew's fellow, you can completely consider the victim's wound. What? What? Order! Order! Hold on to this friend into defendant's evidence. Some of the professor's harebrained tools are a murder weapon. blood. Mr. Armstead's blood, no doubt. This is the problem with looking at the meta weapons. Oh, he's by himself, he just doesn't talk very much. Look at the unusually shaped handle for the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill on the floor of the kinesis machine. Which, according to important information, also should definitely make note of that. The screwdriver was found poking through the grill of the base of the machine. Great. Yeah, perpetrate the fit in the crossbow. Yeah, the legend of cut. We stabbed my shot right in the heart. The victim was killed before you went anywhere. And the only the fella who done it has done it. On what grounds are you saying? Ha! You really need to ask. I like to build that public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd. Blah, the victim old as man and the cause, Professor Hairbrain. And we know for certain before the president he was alive. Before I formed my own eyes. Blah, furthermore, the following exposure on the kinesis nobody went anywhere near the body. In other words, only someone on the stage could have possibly done it.
Excuse me.
Professor Hairbrain, do you have some information you may reveal here? Professor! Ah! Sorry! I just got up and confused to separate the muscles of the human body. The wizard stands the best place for that. It seems though you might have something to say about Inspector Garrison's lost mark. Yes, that's right! Of course! It's just, nobody else could have done it, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim? What? I don't know, but there's no way I could have possibly stabbed the husband, as you say. Eh? Please explain, Professor. Of course, the old policeman may not have a web, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded animals, with blood running through their veins. I had heard. I saw you, as you see. If I put something into his chest, our stage would have been bloodbath. No, blood swimming pool. Ah. But thousands were watching me at the time. And yet no one claimed to have seen a swimming pool of blood. Well, no, I suppose not. You see, not one. I don't say anything like that. Well done, Professor. You're a great counter-argument. Order! Order! Blah. Pray for the crypto because I saved the job of my hollow chalice. I copy my old friend the Duckson. Here's to you, Abbott. Oh, you're too kind, Brock. But I'm not really a patch to you on you. No, you're not. No? Blah. You need to mention that one crucial possibility. I have? Picture the situation in which a very little bleeding would result on the stab one. Ah, of course. Inspector, enlighten us to court, please. Yes, sir. Let's go with that. Yes, the screwdriver was left in the body to stop the bleeding. Oh, very well, you understand me now, Mr. Inspector Gregson. Weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in the body whilst banned through the air. Nope. Wrong. You said while the weapon remains in the body with very little bleeding. But unequivocally, look, there's no blood on the experiment stage, even though there was a fellow who was stabbed. The explanation that the screwdriver was still in the body, stopping any heavy bleeding. Blah, could come with medical knowledge, even on our side of the world. Yes, but this screwdriver. The thing is, we actually saw it for this on the set ourselves, on the experimental stage. Blah. Nani? It was a flaw by the wreckage of the machine, poking out through the metal grill. I went to pick it up before the detective stopped me. Is that right, Inspector Gregson? Well, now you come to mention it, yes. Blah. Inspector, are we to understand that you're permitted the Fed Hustle to investigate? You are due to a contrary special dimension for a specific act. No! Not at all! I wouldn't do that! You just let him look, nothing more. It's very clear I wasn't touching anything. Yes, that's true. This screwdriver was plain sight on the stage. It should have, or it shouldn't, but it shouldn't have been, should it? What are you getting at? This tool had been in the victim's body when his victim was beamed away at the machine. Then it should be in the victim on the. It shouldn't have been on the stage. That's right. It should be in the beamed across the crystal tower along with Mr. Emerson. Man. Been found, and still be found still lodged in the victim's chest. Water. Water. How do you explain this, Inspector? I didn't check the photo. So what's about this guy's wax? Or at least the one on the stage was wax. Well, I don't. Looks as though you have everything the victim has on his person removed him when he was beamed. If the screwdriver was still in his chest when the stage connection occurred, obviously it would have been beamed to the destination as well. Yo! This is a strange sensation. You know, people are saying that it's instant connection is a possibility. We're still basing our argument around the assumption that it actually took place. Alright, time to tighten the screws on here. My lord, if the person is unable to explain the inconsistencies with the argument, we can only conclude that the testimony given the spot claim was not relied upon. Blah. Lord Van Zeke is stumped. Do you have something to say, witness? Yes! I knew it! The bear's out! The question is on hold! Mr. Nato, don't worry! About what? Not diving into details! There's no consistency. No! Don't! Stop! Even if Andrew had been lodged in the chest, my jaw wouldn't have been moved. Andrew remains on stage consistent with my calculations. What? You fucking idiot. Oh, mommy, there's a nice seat here. Why does it say splash third? My eye! But it seems the illusion has been shattered. Clearly, which we hear the explanation. Or should I say, his brilliant scientific explanation. Just when I found an inconsistency for the prosecution's argument. The scientist! Everyone's been testify again. Provides a scientific explanation to how why the inconsistency of your defense has failed to hold. In the name of Apollo, I will, my lord. He has justice in his name as well. But he hasn't been born yet. He'll be born like, I don't know, 200 years. Consistency explained. To be clear, I'm still on stage gathering my data and my research. My professor states that the kinesis cannon cannot transport metal through the hands. The metal weapon could not have been stayed put. In other words, the point just arised, Mr. Noto, isn't inconsistency at all. Metal! Metal! Inconsistency at all. And Assman is the patron of my research. Without him, I wouldn't have been possible. Now I have to do to protect the evil machines built together. So such a terminal professor is blah, based on hypothesis metal objects not be removed by this method of instantaneous. In other words, since the screwdriver is made of metal, if it remains lodged in the victim's chest, the assumption you discovered despite the victim being found elsewhere is not inconsistency. And therefore, therefore the Professor Albert Hairbrain could still have been the killer. My great was hold, you see! We had to make a little cage to use the cane. And the subject from wood, that's very recent. You see, I was not addressing you, witness. Professor Hairbrain. Yes! Whose side are you on here? I don't think so, Tendodo. Oh no. I'm religion lies upon holding my hypothesis. I'm a scientist after all. He's working for us or against us. It's very hard to tell. Blah, let's see how causing them in this testimony. The pollen is fond. Yes! Fire away, Mr. Naruto! Mr. Naruto Uzumaki! So who wants to bet this is wrong?
Objection!
Nope, it's right. Professor Hairbrain, you said according to your hypothesis, nothing made of metal can be beamed instantaneously to the machine you made, is that right? Yes, that's right. Spot on, exactly correct. In that case, let's you have a look at this photograph taken of the scene. Particularly, to pay attention to the victim's face. He clearly seems was wearing spectacles with a metal rim. What, metal? No! It can't! Metal can't! That's not... Metal? No! You've already established the perpetrator of the murder weapon was a screwdriver found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis is correct and predicted that as an outcome, it should have predicted the metal rimmed spectacles would remain in place. Ah! My hypothesis! Actually, the glass would have moved, only the metal frame would have remained. Professor Hairbrain, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is clearly flawed. Order! Council was the implication of this. There's no question the alleged incident never actually took place. It's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere else other than the stage. In that case, someone other than the vendor could have been the culprit. But my hypothesis is sound! I'll prove that day! The experiment was a success! The experiment was proof of the work! Local friends someone here, the cause of our follow world society. Yes, junior member 4, go ahead. Well, model science here, I simply cannot abide. As a father, the pounds of follow model science. What? Great Scott! Are you suggesting that my scientist is a suspect? Or the principle of hazardous from the one of us? And although the whole problem system was completely removed from a very subtle sense. Believe me, your soldiers, while I tell you this man is here upon the facade. I will return the records of the machine. It's stripped down to the thoroughly examined. No! Never! Machine is into my entire hypothesis! If I take this special dimension figment and redact. What the devil's bomb? What the devil you boss at Actipator who made up the such draft rule? I don't like the way this seems to be going.
Objection!
Biden has yet to perfect his invention. That would seem that to be the case, yes. But even so, even so what? Going to such trouble and expense to crank a fake machine display in public would have been absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection!
I must really know exactly to do that. For the research grant money. The government feels not to give the amount of difference not impossible. The people will give a handsome and some undead. Conspirators! I was very with such grand. £10? You want other medical as well, man. £500 a year. £500 a year. Ah, well, that's not much, yes. Yes. Some models include on board public translation to fit the science recently. I put our sons are going to get later start on the funding kick. People are going to put their motivation on their mother, our soil. No, I haven't deceived anyone. Well, at least our government. Oh, there's a sound. Sound is sound. Sound is sound, please. You must believe me. Blah. No matter how unbelievable it may happen, this may seem to you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the fact remains the victim was transported instantly across the crystal tower. Which means the experiment was a success. Okay. Here's the bet that the victim on stage was the wax person that melted with the high velocity, and the real victim was dropped out. And the real victim was dropped out of a balloon was dropped out of a balloon. So the wax bottle was on stage and melted, and the real victim dropped out of the balloon. Which means the experiment, which means was a success. Ah, fuck! And therefore, the only person who could have possibly committed the murder is the accused. Ah, bad luck. Where is this heading? I have no idea. Blah, my lord, if I may. Yes, Lord Van Zeeks. The person would like to summon a new witness to the stand. Oh, new witness is involved in involvement. Blah, the expected of the demonstration of the investigation. By the research, I think. The crossbow, our prediction was, it shot the A into the machine, causing it to overload and break. Because it was found in the platform. It was poking through the grill, as if it was shot from below. Blah. The inspector will demonstrate the exhibition of copper and the prison assets. Eyewitnesses. Oh, very well, court. Grants the prosecution's request. I should very much like to hear from the eyewitness to the incident. Blah. The prosecution's stance is clear. There probably is. President spends with no possession. Accused the frontiness of the victim, no offense was staged. Therefore, eyes of the spectators. Now, my learned friend. Oh, yes? Blah. It's time for you to make your own stance clear. Purely for professor's hypothesis. I can definitely see that. Where does that leave me? Oh, should we now take a short recess? During which time, the prosecution will prepare the new witnesses to stand. Wait, that's very early for an ad break. I only presented 2 things. Good. Oh, the court now is on for 20 minutes. It's a very short break. Way too short. Which makes me worried that the next break's not coming on before I normally finish. Because I still got 45 minutes to go. Return of the Departed Soul. October, 10:44 afternoon, our Bailey Chambers. Mr. Narda! What on earth are you playing at just now? Or rather, what on earth are you playing at all along? My this is amazing. You've been picking holes in it from the start. Oh, sorry about that. But you promised me. You said you'd proven that the drastic explosion was an accident, not murder. You said you kept my precious investment from falling in the hands of anyone else. But you've done so far as trying to undermine me. Yes, I did make you a promise. And you're right. I said that I'd believe in you and your fight for your freedom to the very end. But I also told you I was no scientist. I don't understand your hypothesis. The fact is that you're undeniable flaw in your logic, and there's that. But if it just runs through some equations, yes, I see. Because of my work was incomplete. Perhaps it is. Nevertheless, a man died as a consequence of, didn't he? Oh. Oh no! You're right. You're so right. It's all my fault. I have no right to blame me for my failures. I'm a disaster. I'm not just a scientist. I'm a human being. Well, that might be a little over the top. And while we're on the subject, what about the Brook? He's being awful. Claiming his own university friend is a murderer. I mean, he's a disaster. Not just a predator, but as a human being. Oh, but no, wait. He's the Reaper, isn't he? How if he's not classified a human Homo sapien anymore? But it cleared it up. Can I double check something with you? Ah, yes, what? Machine demonstrated to be prepared. They were based on earlier on your hypothesis, I presume? There was no trickery involved? I drew the punch machine with my very own hands. Every line painstakingly drawn from a firm belief that science is only to the future. So yes, it's true that my hypothesis hasn't reached its maturity yet, but please, Mr. Naruto, you must believe in it. Alright, Professor, I understand. Whew. Oi, oi, oi! Counsel, defendant! The prosecution's witness is ready to take the stand. Court is about to begin session again. Oi, oi, oi! Make your way to the courtroom, please. Oi, oi, oi! Well, here's the demonstration. The professor's hypothesis is as sound as he claims. Well, even the only person who can possibly have killed the victim. But, on the other hand, Mr. James has admitted. A practical implementation, as such as was attempted by the Professor Grant exhibition, is quite impossible. So really, what should we try to prove here? It's all about the evidence, baby. 23rd of October, 11 AM, Old Bailey Courtroom. In the name of everybody in the proceedings of the court. Come to the defense, prosecution. Are you ready for the new witnesses to testify? Blah, the prosecution is ready, my lord. As the defense, my lord. I don't have the plans in the inventory. This is the only plans I have for it. Pew! I wasn't actually given the plans. I can't have the plans because it's not a murder, so the government's better for taking the plans. Oh, I bet the wizards demonstrate the day question with their own eyes. Blah, and did. As luck would have it, on one of them is a police detective. The testimony is about to claim be considered highly reliable. Perfecting. A detective of the people. Of all people. Which would not sound a man's unchanced. Although, under the tragedy, the demonstration is still a day question as scientifically sound. Blah, consequently, the sole of a person who opportunity to have committed the act of murder. Blah. Is only the individual who had been present at that stage at the time. They are closed. It's gonna be Genie, isn't it? Thank you, Count. Oh, thank you, Counsel. Prosecution is clear. So bring forth the new witness now. Blah, seal them in. The witness who's focusing indicates that what their question will qualify them completely. Oi! What the f... Well, it's worth about one of them. Blah, will you say your man not visit for the card? My name is Balthazar Zloon. Why am the whole revenue of the city? Right on stage. My name is Assis Gordon Samuelson. I am the God Sees Against Prisoners. Fire with my burn, Pajamia. I am very rich. Inspector Greenlight, Scotland Yard. I'm a great detective. Even Sherlock Holmes agrees. I was on security the day of the expedition. I got up in the old balloons, and it was amazing. I was thinking that. But then I have three people with high-pitched voices. I have two people with high-pitched voices right next to each other. I think I'm gonna have to call that. I'm getting a massive migraine. She's currently loving every minute of it. There are 3 balloons flying near the public experimental. Yeah, okay. I'm getting a massive migraine. I'm sorry. So I'll pause it once the testimony starts, and we'll come back in with the testimony. The student says the balloon side of the time that to the skies. You make it sound like the clouds and the attitudes cutting 60 feet very low. Well, I can't have nothing to fly at all, can ya? 60 feet. About 18 meters then. Yep. The feet of... That just proved it. So, the balloons are 60 feet up. And it's about the second to third floor, which is probably 30 feet up. Which means the fall of the balloon is a 30 foot floor. And his deck was broken from a sudden fall from a considerable height. Can't describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those events you pointed on the stage. I've got a massive migraine, so I really need to rest for the night. I got work tomorrow as well. With my bitch of the boss that bullies me. Which is going to be fun. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. And I'll see you all tomorrow for more for more Great Age Eternity Chronicles. And then after that, yes, we will be doing Vikings. Anyway, have a great night, and thank you all for being here. See ya!